Well, the entire light, electricity, and internet grid of my country has just ceased working. Yet here I am, recording a voiceover. Hi, if that didn't give it away, I'm Spanish, and if the fact you're watching a speedpaint didn't give it away, I'm an artist. My name's Inky, and my internet grid might be down, but you know what isn't down? The grind for art fight! I'm still working on my reference sheets. This week's character is Persephone, Percy for short. Now, like everybody else, Persephone is a D&D character, because what else is a girl meant to do if not play a bunch of D&D? Unlike everybody else, Persephone did not start life as a D&D character. Persephone was my Baldur's Gate 3 character instead. Cue the Percy montage. Eventually, of course, I was like, I want to bring this character to my D&D table. So we made a couple touches, a couple adjustments, and boom, current version of Persephone was born. The main change, I would say, design-wise, is that this Persephone has pitch black eyes, whereas my Baldur's Gate 3 Persephone had purple eyes. Yeah, tieflings in our setting only get to have solid color eyes or human eyes. So I was like, okay, let's do black eyes. And then I was like, she's a wild magic barbarian, and I know my DM depicts wild magic as being like purplish, pinkish. So can I have that give her pupils when she's doing the wild magic rage? And my DM was like, fuck yeah. Now, from a different campaign thing that he was doing, my DM had this pink tiefling NPC called Charity. That's Charity right there. And her whole thing is that she's pink, and she's very silly, and she's painfully autistic. I like Charity, she's sweet. And I don't know how it was, I think he suggested it to me. He was like, pink. Charity canonically has a bunch of half-siblings because she is from a culture that's non-monogamous, so her father just has a bunch of wives and a bunch of children. It's ethical non-monogamy, by the way. Everybody's consenting to it, everyone's chill with it, and all of the children are very loved and very cared for. So are the wives, so everybody's like happy and chill about this. Percy thinks it's a little cringe, not because she's like, oh no, you must be one man and one woman. No, Percy's a raging lesbian, she doesn't give a shit. She thinks that if you're gonna be with someone, you gotta give it your all. You gotta pour your all into it. Percy keeps having different partners, but she only has one of them at a time. She respects her dad's grind, but she wouldn't do it. Just like she wouldn't gamble away the family horse, Dad! Whatever the case, yeah, Charity has a lot of half-siblings, and I was like, yeah, Percy's one of them. My DM suggested, and I was like, yes, instantly. So that's how we get to Contrabelian Percy. She's Charity's half-sister, and then, I don't know how this happened, but there's this other NPC. She's a DM favorite, and she's a fan favorite because I love her. Let me just pull up Tata's commissioned a reference of her. I love her. I love her so much. This is Periclet Hesselkine. I love her so much. She is, I love her. So the thing about her is that she showed up. She actually didn't show up with Percy for the first time. She showed up way earlier with Blair in Blair's campaign. And she showed up. She rolled up, picked up Blair, like, by the back of her shirt, like she was a stray puppy. Periclet is 7 foot, by the way. And she basically, like, called her useless and insignificant and lacking in wit, and then she just fucked off. It's a whole story we'll get to there when we get to Blair. Whole thing. The point, though, is that she winds up employing Blair as a sword for hire. And at some point, stuff happens in Blair's life, and stuff's going down, and she takes her friends to see Periclet, because she's like, okay, they can stay at my house and they'll be safe there. And with them comes Percy, because she's Charity's sister, and Charity's kind of Blair's friend. And Periclet looks at Percy and is like, You see, Periclet Hesselkine is a useless lesbian. She's a really mean drow lady, except she actually secretly isn't. She cries herself to sleep almost every night, and she is a useless lesbian. Now, I could do a whole thing about, like, how drow in Condrabel work, but honestly, I don't have time for it in this video. It would be really bloated. What you need to know is that Periclet is from the Veins, and she's Lothite, because we do have Loth in our setting. and she is the ruler of a city-state in the Veins. And drow are kind of mean. They're not as comically mean as I think they are in other D&D things, because I've seen, like, they murder their own children, and they learn to do killing when they are babies. No, drow society in our setting, most of them are just quite harsh, but they are not, like, murder fests. A hefty amount of them do sacrifice, and they're quite stratified. So it's not great, and they prioritize, like, not trusting each other and working against each other as societal values. But I've played Baldur's Gate 3, and man, the drow in that game are fucked up. Ours are not that bad. Drow behavioral tangent aside, all you need to know is that Periclet is mean at first, because that's what her society needs her to be. But eventually Blair, who's also kind of going through her own mean phase, and her just kind of bond over, like, I don't know, everybody fucking sucking, and they wind up being really fond of each other. For the longest time, both us and the character herself thought she was bisexual, but eventually I looked at my DM and I was like, I think you just made a lesbian who really wishes she could like men. And he's like, did I? Oh my god, I did. So yeah, Periclet's a useless lesbian. And she sees Percy and she thinks, she's kind of fine though. But instead of being normal about it, God forbid, this useless lesbian finds out that Percy's an axe for hire. So like a sword for hire, but she uses an axe. And she hires her. Because she does need somebody to kick the asses of a couple creatures down in the Veins, because they are posing security threats to her nation. But also, like, then she can have an excuse to have Percy around for a bit. Because God forbid she just ask her out normally. I mean, this is a woman in her, like, late hundreds, early 200s, who has never been with another girl, who used to be married to a man who then divorced her. So actually, I can get that she's not the normalist about romance. Also, she's in, like, a one-sided situationship with God. Oh god, I forgot to mention that. Okay, so being gay is not illegal for these drow or anything, but it is, like, considered less good than being straight. But, Periclet is head of the church, being the mantle of her city. So she is very much encouraged and allowed to appreciate God, who just so happens to present as a very conventionally attractive woman to her. And, like, we've established with the DM that Lolth is doing it on purpose. Lolth knows. Lolth can tell she thinks she's pretty, and she's taking advantage of the fact, because Lolth is a bitch. In our setting, she is, less overtly murdery than I think she is in a lot of D&D official canon. She is the goddess of shits and giggles, kind of. She will just let things happen and cause things to happen and dick people over for her own amusement. She thinks it's really funny to watch that little lesbian squirm. So Periclet, who has never been normal about romance in her life, God bless her, decides to hire Persephone. And Persephone's like, okay, this is not the first noble woman that hires me. I can work with this. You sound like you've got a lot of monsters, so I'm bringing my sibling along if that's chill. So Periclet hires both her and her sibling, not Charity, Tenacity. Tenacity is my friend's player character in the one-shot that this all happened in. Now, the really fun thing about this one-shot is that I actually got to see my DM and fellow player shortly before that, which is a rarity because, like I said, I am from España, and they are from the United Kingdom. So he took the chance, obviously, my DM, to give us supplementary physical material, which he doesn't usually get to do. So he showed up with a bunch of envelopes and letters on the envelopes, and I keep those letters. I treasure them dearly because they are hilarious. The phrase "dinner where we may eat" is now a meme staple in my friend group because there's this letter, the first of the letters, from Periclet to Percy, where she is inviting her over for the job. But also, she wants to invite her to dinner afterwards. Again, Percolette Hesselkind cannot be normal about romance. She wants to invite her to dinner afterwards, and you can tell that she wrote something that she felt was embarrassing. And because paper is very scarce in the veins, she just redacted over it. Therefore, ending us with the phrase, dinner, where we may eat. She probably had said something else. I don't know what the original version of the letter said, but dinner where we may eat. The one shot was wonderful. It was very nice. We hunted a bunch of monsters, yada yada. Percy nearly got her brain eaten out by a mind flare, which I don't know if the DM intended that to be a Baldur's Gate 3 reference because Percy used to be a Baldur's Gate 3 character or what, but that was fun. She was fine, by the way. And they did wind up having the dinner date, by the way. Percy is not surprised by this. This is not the first noblewoman she woos. Percy just does this. However, the difference between this and other times is that this one is very mean. But when they're alone, she's actually really pathetic in a way that's actually kind of sweet. And also, she offers her a job. She's like, I need a bodyguard, and I want you to stay, so I would be willing to pay you. But we don't have to be involved if you don't want to, because that would be weird if I made you stay involved with me because I'm paying you. That would be really weird. And Percy's just sitting there like, you're panicking way too much. This is fine. I am fine with this. I will go on more dates with you and also do other activities that I cannot mention because YouTube would kill me. Percy is down with this. Percy is down with dating this woman. This woman doesn't need to freak out or pay her. It's okay. Again, say it with me. Percolette Hesselkind cannot be normal about romance. But that's how she scored herself a girlfriend. And then Lolth got really mad about it because she can't keep leading her on if she's actually getting some. Oh dear. She likes it when the purple lady is sad. It's really entertaining. And so begins Lolth's crusade to make the purple one miserable again, which is really long, and I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to just tell you that it culminates in sending demons to try and kill Persephone. It doesn't work because they kill the demons instead. And at that point, Percolette's like, wait a minute. Am I in an abusive relationship with God? Oh, fuck no! So there's a religious schism in the city Percolette leads, because actually Lolth is mean. And maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Maybe we shouldn't be following her and giving her our time and attention. Somehow, despite the political intrigue and assassination attempts, etc., Percolette does manage to pull it off. And so now her city-state is no longer Lolthite, all because Lolth could not stand to see a girl boss winning. And also getting absolutely all's well that ends well, and Percy successfully lives and does not get assassinated by God's envoys. Good for Percy. Her sister gets put through college on the bank of I'm now with a really rich woman. Her sibling discovers a passion for fighting in the Colosseum down in the veins. And that is the last time we will ever hear about I'm kidding, of course. Percolette will come back. There will be more Percolette. And by extension, more Percy. But there will be another Percolette tangent. Oh boy, will there be another Percolette tangent! Okay, this is the end, so this is the part where I say all of the stuff. Click like button, comment, and subscribe, and maybe send this to your friends if you would like to, please. And also, because I am an artist, I take commissions, and you can pay me to draw things for you on Ko-fi, or you can DM me on social media and arrange payment through PayPal. I don't know, every like is a prayer for the Spanish internet to return. Never mind that it will have had to return by the time I upload this because I need to upload it. It doesn't matter. Pray for the internet. Gracias. Goodbye.